to be the first of many detailing videos. Like I said, I'm not building this channel to be a detailing channel. There's just so many videos and so many channels on YouTube dedicated to detailing. But like I said, some of that stuff, it just blows my mind what people spend on product, on time, and just overall process, because I've been detailing cars professionally for about 27 years. I kid you not. And, you know, back 27 years ago, we didn't have, you know, fancy microfiber cloths. We didn't have ceramic coatings and fancy wheel cleaners and all this stuff that we have today. I mean, it was pretty much, you know, the product that you were able to get through, you know, like a Malco distributor or your local, you know, auto parts store, or 3M or Meguiar's, you know, commercial products, you know, if you own the body shop or a professional detailing shop. So, you know, I spend probably over $1,000 a year, you know, over the last, I'd probably say over the last 5 years testing product. And not because I have to, it's because there's a lot of stuff on there that has a lot of marketing hype. And, you know, you spend the money, does it really deliver? You know, does it really perform for my needs? And I basically came down to quite a couple of simple processes here. And I have all the products shown above on the workbench right there. And I'm going to put the camera on my head in a little while, and I'm going to go through a quick wash video. And, you know, exactly what everything that I use and everything that makes my life easier. Because like I said, today, you know, we're in a fast-paced world. I mean, who has the time to spend an hour to 3 hours washing and drying and doing a quick detailer on their car? Some guys spend 3 to 5 days detailing their car. And like I said, hey, you know what? If that's what relaxes you and that's what you're into, that's totally cool with you. You could do whatever you want. I'm not going to say anything about that. But, you know, for my lifestyle, I don't have that time anymore like I had when I was a teenager. So I look for products that work, they're affordable, they make the process more efficient, and like I said, they're readily attainable, whether you want to get it locally online, through Amazon, through eBay, maybe a local distributor where you live might be able to sell some of these products. But I'm not brand loyal to any brand, especially when it comes to detailing products. I mean, there's a number of products that I like from one manufacturer that I don't necessarily like from other manufacturers. So it really depends on your needs, the process, and the type of cars you have, and how real anal retentive you are with keeping them clean. I mean, I don't ever let my cars get really, really nasty. But, you know, like I said, I own some collector cars, some high-dollar cars, and most of my cars in the past 20 years have been black. And black cars are a nightmare to maintain, but that was one of my specialties. Even with client cars, you know, I'm just really, really good at what I do, you know, with surface preparation, color sanding, and all of those techniques. But that's, like I said, I'll do a video on that another time. This video is just going to be a pretty basic rundown showing what I do on a regular basis. Usually 3 to 4 times a week I'll go through this regimen, and I usually knock it out start to finish in about 15 to 20 minutes, and that's not really bad. I mean, that's from, you know, pulling out the power washer, the foam gun, you know, the drying process and everything else. And like I said, I'm going to go through everything here. I'm going to show you everything that I use on a regular basis. In the description, I'm going to put a bunch of links where you can pick a lot of this stuff up. I mean, like I said, I spent a lot of time trying stuff out, wasting money, and my friends will vouch for it, because as soon as I get a gallon of material and I think it sucks, I give them a call. Come on, pick it up, get it out of here. And that's just the way I am. I mean, I'm not going to try to sell it to them. I just give it away. So the items that are up on the bench, I mean, I've been using these religiously for several years. You know, I constantly keep replenishing the gallons, and I'm happy with them. They work, they're affordable, they make the process efficient, and they do an outstanding job. So I'm going to pause the camera. I'm going to put the camera on my head. I'm going to go through each and every product that's up there and explain a little bit about it, and then we're going to start the process of a foam wash. Alright guys, this is a closer look at some of the materials that I have picked and chosen over the years. And I'm just going to give you a quick explanation as to why I chose them and what they do. And hopefully you guys can pick up some tips. I mean, it's relatively affordable material, and it'll make your car washing regimen light years easy, from depending on what you're doing now. I mean, I really don't know what you guys are using now, but there's so much stuff on the market, and a lot of it's marketing hype. You know, you're spending big money for fancy websites and, you know, fancy YouTube channels, but you really don't need that. I mean, cleaning a car is not that complicated. You just have to have good product and good technique. So let's go over here. We're going to start with the first order of business, the power washer. Now, I'm sure like some of you guys have electric power washers, and like everyone, you run out and you buy the power washer for $199 at Home Depot just to find out that it actually sucks. I mean, some guys like them, but to be honest with you, it's just not really. I've tried a couple of them from Karcher and a couple of the other manufacturers, and they just don't really do a good job. And it becomes a useful power washer if you really want to do stuff around the house. So that's really, you know, my take on this. I purchased a couple of the higher end power washers that were electric. I've had the Kranzla, which was $2,000. Great power washer. You know, it's gentle on the paint. It does a good job. But if you're going to power wash your driveway or the bricks of your home or a patio, it's not really that powerful. It's not really that great. So I don't see a benefit of having a $2,000 power washer that you're only going to use it for one purpose of washing a car. I mean, to me, that just doesn't make sense. Then I tried a couple of the other ones, the higher end ones from Karcher, you know, between $400 to $600. Same deal. I mean, they were okay, but they don't have the gallons per minute that really is going to work really well with a foam cannon. So I sent those back, or I sold them. And then I tried, the last electric one that I tried was from Northern Tool, made by Northstar. It has an industrial pump, really, really heavy duty machine. But the gallons per minute were only 1.2, so it's really not enough to get good foam action with the foam cannon. So I ended up scratching that. And yeah, of course we have a bunch of gas washers, but like I said, everybody complains about the fumes, but the biggest complaint with any power tool that's gas operated is this. I mean, sometimes you could pull this thing 10 times. By the time you go to wash the car, you're exhausted, your shoulder hurts, and then you're like, wow, this really sucks. And that's why most of those guys use electric. But there's a solution, and that's this power washer right here, made by Subaru. This has an electric start, similar to like what you would get on a motorcycle or a car. It has a miniature starter with a 12-volt battery. And if you look over here, you plug in your charger here, and I usually get about 15 washes for every charge cycle. And the thing is awesome. It's convenient. I hit the button, I start it up, and I go through my process. Now, if you look here at the nozzles, something very important. If you notice something, there's one nozzle missing, and I hope you guys understand why. The nozzle that goes here is what I call the destructive nozzle, the red nozzle, the one that literally doesn't serve a purpose to do anything good except cause damage. Whether it's on your driveway, it'll remove the mortar from the bricks in your home, and it'll probably pull the paint off your car, especially on the bumpers. So whenever I buy a power washer, and I recommend this to anyone, take the red nozzle and throw it in the garbage. Get rid of it. Throw it out. Get it away from you. You don't ever want to accidentally use it. So this is the foam nozzle, which I never use, and I believe this is a standard 40-degree nozzle, and I believe this is a 25-degree. So I pretty much just use these two. You know, I connect the foam cannon, I use that, then I switch over, and I usually use the green one when I'm doing the wheels, because it gives a little bit more power stream, and it just seems to work a little bit better. And this one, when I'm you know, just cleaning the car off completely to get more of a wider sprayer pattern. But like I said, this power washer, outstanding. I've had it for a number of months. It has never let me down. It just does the job that I need. And not only do I use it for the car, I use it to clean the sidewalks around the home, the cobblestones, everything. So it's a 3100 PSI max PSI. That's not like 3100 all the time PSI. But the important thing is the 2.4 gallons per minute, and that's really what you want when you're washing cars or you're doing anything of a repetitive task, is the gallons per minute. So I highly recommend this power washer over anything else, primarily for the durability and the quality of the Subaru engine and the electric start. Hands down, this is the one that I am using for here on in. If this power washer breaks, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to figure out a way to fix it. But this is the foundation right here, the power washer. Other important aspect is this, a ringer. This is an industrial ringer that I modified and welded the frame. And like I said, the Jaw Horse, I'm going to do a video on this one day because this is so versatile. I own 3 of these tools. It's just a great thing. You could drag this thing anywhere in the garage, in your shop, outside the house, and you have a portable workstation right here. So I use this to wring out the drying towels, and like I said, it's just super efficient, super easy to use, and you know, it's just where it is. As far as buckets, a lot of you guys are using round buckets with grit guards. Yeah, I mean, those are fine. I like this bucket. It's an industrial Rubbermaid bucket, and inside the bucket, I'll show you guys, I do have a grit guard in there, and the reason I used that shape of a bucket, I just think it's a little bit easier for the process when I go through it, because I use a microfiber mop that I got from Griot's Garage that I modified, and with the round buckets, it becomes a little bit of a chore to dunk in and out of a round bucket, so I found that this works a little bit better for my needs. And moving over here, this is an Mtm Power Washer Gun. I just use this for a spare, and I primarily use this with the Mtm Professional Foam Cannon. This thing is outstanding. Do not buy the $19 foam lance on Amazon or on eBay. They suck. This thing is what you want. Spend the money, put it in your toolbox, and you'll have it for life, and it's also rebuildable, so you'll always be able to get you know, parts for it. You know, these are made in Italy. Very, very high quality piece. You know, everything's injected molded here out of like, looks like a nylon reinforced composite. And you know, I put the quick connects on there as well. So as far as soap, this is what I've been using for the past 4 years. Chemical Guys Honeydew Snow Foam. And as you can see, it says it's pH neutral, high foam cleansing wash, safe for wax sealant, removes dirt and grime. And like I said, for what it is, I mean, I get these for like $35 a gallon, and it just works. So when I use the foam cannon, I fill this up 3/4 with water, and then I put 2 complete pumps of the soap into the foam cannon, and that's usually, you know, you'll see the results. Moving over here, this is the Chemical Guys G6 Hypercoat tire dressing. I've tried every tire dressing on the market, a lot of the professional stuff as well, from, you know, 3M, Meguiar's, Malco, and I don't know, I just found that this stuff, for what it is, I bought it on you know, just to try it out, and you know, this bottle so far, I've had it for about 7 months, and I do all my cars with it. So it gives a great finish. It's not too glossy, it's not too dull, it doesn't sling all over the side of the car, which to me is the most important, especially if you have a sports car, or if you own a car with white paint like I do. I have another car with white paint, and if you use any of the silicone-based products, and if it gets on the bottom of the car, it'll actually give brown and yellow marks in the paint over time if you don't clean it right away. So it's not about the silicone base, it's whatever binders or whatever chemicals that they're using in this stuff. You got to be really careful what you use. So I stay away from everything that you could get over at Napa or any of the local auto parts stores. And I've been trying, you know, using this so far, and this is my go-to solution. I'm going to be ordering a gallon of this probably this coming week. This is the applicator, which is pretty much just a wax pad with a grip holder that I modify with some Velcro. And you can make something like that yourself, and you know, do what you want with that. Now, moving over to this is the Chemical Guys V07 Optical High Gloss Spray Sealant. Now, I didn't really know what to think of this product when I first bought it a couple of years ago. I was just like, you know, buying a bunch of stuff, like from Chemical Guys. I buy a lot of towels and a lot of, you know, basic necessities for the shop. So when I was reading up on this product, I'm like, well, is it a spray wax? Is it an auto? Is it like a spray detailer? I didn't really know what it was, but I still don't really consider it a spray wax. But what I usually do after I wash the car and I hose it all down is I spray some of this all over the car. And when you dry it, it makes the drying process better. If you have any kind of hard water where you live, where like I have really hard water over here, and I don't have like a filtration system on the hose for the garage, it just makes the drying process go a lot smoother, a lot easier. You don't get the water spots, and it's an outstanding product for multiple uses. I use this product when I do any kind of clay bar work, anywhere on the car. When I go to dry off the wheels, I give each wheel a mist of this with the Griot's Garage Pfm smaller detailing towels, and it just works. It's a great product. It doesn't give a residue. It enhances the gloss, enhances the time you would need to detail and wax your car completely. And like I said, it's just a common upkeep of the car. I mean, I tried a lot of the spray wax stuff and a lot of the spray detailers, but they don't really deliver what I was looking for. It's almost like watered down product that they're charging you a lot of money for. This stuff is great. I don't water it down. I use it straight out of the gallon in a small spray bottle, and I'm going to show you how I use it. And then moving over here, Adam's wheel cleaner. Now, if any of you guys have used any of the Sonax wheel cleaners, you know the stuff works great, especially if you have a German car, you know, BMW, Mercedes, Porsche. But the smell of the Sonax, literally, it's like toxic skunk piss. It's horrible. I would spray the wheels down, and I would go to sleep at night, and I would still smell that chemical in my nose at night, and it was actually irritating me. So I tried a couple of cleaners. I tried the Griot's Garage heavy-duty wheel cleaner. I tried the Adams. I tried all the wheel cleaners from Chemical Guys. Didn't like any of them. The one that I stick with now is the Adams wheel cleaner. It has the same function of a Sonax, except it doesn't smell as bad. So it's a little mixture of like bubblegum and the Sonax smell. It's really hard to explain on camera. You'd have to try it out, but the stuff works great. I highly suggest you buy the gallon of it, no matter what kind of car you have, just because the stuff, you know, use it full strength. And, you know, with the little pump spray here, you just get it into the bottle and you spray the wheels down. And like I said, I don't get the car where the wheels are super, super dirty, but having a good wheel cleaner, I think, is important, even when you have a power washer, because you don't want to use the power to go close to the wheel and, you know, possibly damage the calipers or knock the finish off the wheels. So, like I said, these are the couple of products that I really, really recommend. Is the Adams wheel cleaner. You know, I get this locally. My local distributor gives it to me for like $40 a gallon, so it's cheaper than me buying it from Adams or anywhere online. And this stuff here, I usually order it on Amazon or Chemical Guys. Believe it or not, the Chemical Guys have a distribution center in Pennsylvania, so sometimes I place an order and I get stuff within like a day or two. So it works out great. So not everything's going to ship from California. So, you know, these are the couple of products that I recommend. Now, as far as the exhaust tips, this is a product that I really, really came across a number of years ago, doing a big job for a customer in Berlin. And I fabricated a bunch of sculptures, and then they were copper and chrome plated, and some of them got damaged with a chemical, and I had to rescue and save the day. And I tried Mothers, I tried every metal polish I could come across, and nothing worked. And then I found this online, and I just rolled the dice. It comes in a kit of 3. You have medium, coarse, and fine. And it's like a petroleum oil-based product, but it works great. And I usually use that with a you know, cheapo microfiber, and that's how I clean the exhaust tips on the GT350. As far as the wheels, I use the wheel woolies. These are the ABN AutoBodyNow.com, the original wheel woolies. These are great. I mean, I tried some of the other wheel brushes, and I find that they're really difficult to get in between the spokes and the calipers, and even to get into the back of the wheel. And like I said, these come in a set of 3. I highly recommend them. They're just, you know, super soft. They have some flexibility, so you can kind of get in there in between the caliper if you have a car with big brakes, and they just work. Here we go over to the Griot's Garage Pfm Towels. This is the drying towel. These are the detailing towels. This is the best towel I have ever used in my life. I kid you not. I was reading all the reviews online, and I said, how good could a towel be for $40 a towel? Is this marketing hype, or does it really, really deliver? And I'm going to be honest with you. When I got this towel off Amazon, and I tried it for the first 2 washes, I literally ordered 4 more larger ones, and I have 8 of the smaller ones. And I am recommending them to everybody that I know. These things are incredible. If you have a chamois, if you have any kind of like other drying cloths, throw them in the garbage, move on in life, and buy these towels. You will never, ever look back. They're incredible. As far as the maintenance of these towels, usually what I do is I do like a hand wash in cold water. Do not throw these in the dryer. You'll probably ruin them like most microfibers. And then I just hang dry them. I let them hang dry in my laundry room. So this towel, unbelievable. You got to get these. And moving over to the power washer wand. Like I said, this is just a standard power washer wand that came with the power washer. And I have the white nozzle. I have 2 white nozzles. I leave one on the machine if I use this gun, and I leave one on the main lance. And this is a very important thing that you guys should look into. It's called the Simpson Dial and Wash. And what this does, it basically regulates the pressure. Now, you can put a pressure regulator on some of the industrial pressure washers at the pressure washer, but in order to adjust it, you have to put the wand down, go over to the machine, turn the regulator, look at the gauge and see where you're at. It's a little bit of an inconvenience, especially when you're washing a car. This device, as you're, hosing your car down and doing what you got to do with the wash, at the flick of a wrist, you could go from gentle to full power. This thing is great, unbelievable. It's inexpensive. You could actually use this on any power washer that I know of that has the standard connections. But like I said, check whatever machine you have and kind of see if this will work with yours. But it's pretty much a universal fit. And I attach it with some Teflon tape on both ends. And like I said, that's why I have a 3100 psi power washer, and I'm washing my vintage cars and my new cars, and I don't have any problems because I'm able to regulate the pressure between this and between the nozzle that I use on the other end. So moving over here, this is what I was mentioning, my Griot's Garage microfiber wash mop. And I've been using this for a couple of years now, just because, like I said, I don't like to bend and I don't like to constantly keep bending. Now, I did a modification to this, and I'm going to show you quick, because when you buy this, it's really flimsy, and the wash mop is all over the place. And when Griot's Garage was originally making these, they were making this with an aluminum base. And I'm going back 10 years, I was washing my E63 AMG, and the aluminum had sharp edges, and it ripped through the microfiber, and it literally damaged the trunk paint. And I got to give it to Griot's Garage. I mean, their customer service is outstanding. They paid my local body shop over $700 to repair the trunk of my E63 AMG. And like I said, I'm a product designer, and I went back to them. I'm like, you guys really should double think what you guys are doing with this here, with the aluminum against the paint on the car. I mean, there was no foam, there was just raw aluminum with sharp jagged edges. It was just a terrible idea. So the newer ones have a plastic base, but they still didn't think it through to make the base wide enough. So this thing is moving all over the place and driving you crazy. So what I did, and I'll show you here, I took a 1/4 inch piece of ABS plastic. I undersized it about 1/8 of an inch shorter all the way around the perimeter of this dimension, and then I bonded it with 3M 8223 dual mix epoxy adhesive, and that just keeps the mitt in check, and it doesn't make it flop all around. Otherwise you're going to go crazy. And what's really cool, like I said, the flick of a wrist, you could adjust the height. If you're going to do an SUV, you're going to do the roof of your car or whatever. It's just a great item, and it's one of those things that just makes your life easier, and that's what I'm all about. I mean, when I was younger, 13, 14 years old, I would detail 4 or 5 cars a day. Now it's like I don't have the energy to do that, let alone do I want to bend to go do that. So it's just not something that I really want to mess around with anymore. And the last item I'm going to show you guys is this Ego electric 56 volt leaf blower. Like I said, I went out and I bought the fancy what they call, I don't know, it's called power vac, but it's like the it's like a vacuum, and it's also a blow dryer for your car. It was like $499. I bought it, I tried it, I'm like, this thing sucks. It's got the cord, which is a total pain in the ass, and to me it's just not, it's not efficient. It's not efficient. You got to lug this thing around your car, the cord gets caught on the front of your wheels, you're cursing, bitching and moaning. You don't need it. You want something portable like this. So I tried the Makita, the Milwaukee, the Steel. I tried all of the main brand electric blowers on the market, and I settled on this one. This one seems to have the most power, the fastest recharge time. It's ergonomically incredible. I mean, I love the little stand that they build in over here, and it just works. It works great. It charges up in like 20-30 minutes. I added the nozzle on the other end just to enhance a little bit of the action of the velocity that comes out of this thing. And what I do with this, I blow out the wheels, because this will get all the water out from in and out of the lug nuts. It'll get all the water out from inside the grill, the door jambs, and any of that stuff. So it's one of those things where, yeah, if you have a compressor, you could blow it all out with an air compressor, but then it's time, the compressor's going to be running and all of this crap. Get one of these. I mean, they're relatively inexpensive. It's one of those things that, yeah, you can use it to dry your car like I do, but I also use it to blow out, my workshop at home when I'm doing stuff. You could use it to blow out your driveway, your leaves. I mean, it's a really good unit. It's a really good brand. They have a bunch of other items that they also make, like weed whackers, lawnmowers, everything. So very, very impressed with this so far. I've been using this for a couple of months. My electric blower that plugged into the wall. Another thing, took that, gave it to my friend. So that's the thing, like I try stuff out, and like I said, if it doesn't deliver, I just get rid of it. I'm like, I don't have patience to just hoard stuff. I just want to try it out. If it makes my life easier, if it does a good job, I keep it, and I'll recommend it to other people. If it doesn't really do what I thought it was going to do, it's gone. I either junk it or I give it away to my friends. So yeah, a lot of my friends are really happy with some of the stuff I give them. But another thing I want to go over too are these pumps that you see on these gallon containers here. I picked these up on Amazon. You know, they're decent. They're not the best industrial rated pump. I mean, you know, they're a little flimsy, but they work. What I did here is I took some vacuum caps. You know, you can get these at any auto parts store, and you just put a cap on all of them. Now, they don't tell you that these things leak like crazy. So if you don't put a cap on them, they're gonna spill the product all over your workbench, all over your cabinet. It's gonna make a mess. So, you know, I came up with the solution. Just use a vacuum cap. I mean, these are about a quarter-inch thick, a quarter-inch vacuum cap, and just cap them off when you're not using them, and it keeps your workspace clean and, you know, leak-free. So this is a rundown. I mean, I hope you guys appreciate some of this stuff. I mean, I've been spending years testing and going over products, and you know, as far as the real detailing products, as far as color sanding, paint correction, anything like that, whether it's a vintage car I'm working on or any new car, anything with major surface defects, I strictly use the 3M Professional Perfected system. I mean, I just use their buffing pads, I use their compounds for years. I'm just accustomed to using their product, and I'm just really good at using their product. And I've used, you know, stuff from Pinnacle, I've used stuff from Chemical Guys, I've tried the Adams stuff. You know, the Adams stuff I really, really liked many years ago. But the thing with Adams that's turning me off, especially with their polishes, is that they're giving you smaller quantity and they're charging you more money for them now. So for someone like me that needs the production and needs the actual volume yield, that's not going to do us any good. It's just not going to work. And they keep switching pads. You know, they went from a honeycomb pad, then they went to a straight pad, then they went to a dual compound type pad. It's like they can't make their mind up what they're doing. They keep trying to reinvent this. And I don't know if it's the manufacturer that's working with Adams, or they keep going to different manufacturers to reduce cost, and they have to switch over their process and technique for the new formulations. I don't really know, but you know, I stopped using their polishes and stuff because it just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I think there's better stuff in the market, and I don't let my cars get that trashed. And I'm a big fan of the 3M Perfected line. I mean, I use it for everything. I use their paint cleaning clay. But I'm not going to use the 3M car wash soap and stuff like that. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. It's too expensive. You know, because these items here, I call these high consumables. These are the items that you're going to replace in your detailing arsenal on a regular basis. So like I said, why are you going to spend $90 a gallon, you know, for a 3M, you know, spray wax or something? It just doesn't make any sense. I'd rather spend, you know, $40 a gallon and you know, get an amazing result out of it. So I'm gonna put the camera on my head. I'm going to show you start to finish how I set this all up, and I'm going to do it in real time. You know, you're going to see how long it takes me to foam the car, power wash it, dry it all off, and detail it, and you're going to see the result in a minute. So stay tuned. All right, guys, here we go. First order of business, the Adams wheel cleaner. And like I said, I'm just going to give it a quick, you know, spray. Nothing crazy. If you see what I'm wearing a black nitrile rubber glove because I just don't want to get this crap on my hands. So I spray it down really well. Like I said, the car's not really that dirty right now, but I'm still going to wash it because they were doing some stone work across the street and there was a lot of stone dust earlier this morning, so I just don't want to have any of that get on the paint and scratch the car and all of that. So just give it a good, you know, mist. I use a lot of wheel cleaner. Maybe that's why I go through so much of it, but I don't care. I just want to make my life easier. So get in there, and then we're going to get the wheel woolly, and we're going to agitate it. So I'm going to dip these usually in the bucket of water just to And I like the smaller one. It just seems to work on these wheels really well. As you can see. You know, I'm getting out on the inside of each spoke. Believe it or not, that's like having a set of black wheels. It's really hard to catch all the debris that's on your wheels sometimes because you can't see it until you go to dry the car off. But, you know, this does a pretty good job. Use the bigger one to go in there. And I just like to clean all of this crap out. I mean, believe it or not, the brake compound that Ford decided to use on this car is not that bad. It's not as dusty and aggressive as some other cars that I've owned, so, which is a good thing. I mean, the brake compound works outstanding. And like I said, the little brush, you can get yourself in there, you know, behind the caliper and all of that. And, you know, don't forget the inside the lug nut area, you know, and just move on to the next one. So the wheel woolies come in sets of 3. I've just been using these 2 right here because they just seem to work, you know, pretty much for everything that I'm using it for. And like I said, just get in there. And this wheel cleaner, you know, you don't have to get it off in 30 seconds like some of the acidic wheel cleaners that you'll see in the auto parts stores. You know, like they say, oh, spray it on and get it off right away because it'll actually damage the finish. But no, this stuff is really good. I mean, it's safe, you know, so I usually spray all 4 down, and then I go over and then I agitate like I'm doing here, and you know, then I fire up the power washer and then we get things going. So there we go. All right, next one. And like I said, this is real time, so I mean, it usually takes me, I don't know, 20-30 minutes to do the car. It's not bad. I mean, I'm not going to spend an hour. I just don't have that time. And, you know, I'm just too busy. Too damn busy to be spending that much time. But if it has, you know, to do with detailing and claying and, you know, getting scratches out and color sanding, yeah, that's where, you know, I'll spend the time doing that. And, you know, that's a different process altogether. But I don't think washing the car, you need to spend 2 hours. I just think that's ridiculous. Time is money. And if you're not getting paid, why bother? That's my take on it, right? And then there's also the other saying, work smarter, not harder. So don't kill yourself if you don't have to. Now, like I said, this is really easy right now. I mean, I'm not going crazy. I'm just going in there, you know, and I'm doing it fast just because that's just the way I do things. Okay. It's funny, I'm sure I'm going to get comments from some expert world-class detailers telling me how I'm cleaning my wheels wrong and I'm doing everything wrong. Yeah, okay, buddy. Now, I mean, like I said, there's no right and wrong. I mean, this is just the way I do it. It just is what it is. You know, I used to enjoy washing and detailing my cars when I was younger. And, you know, like I said, as you get older, life gets busy. You know, you run a business, you got a family, and all of that. You can't do it like that anymore. So I'm gonna put the brushes aside. Let me get the hose on. You gotta purge the air out of the pressure washer before you fire it up. So I'll show you how to do that here. See? Okay. So here we go. Connect the Mtm Foam Cannon. And like I said, guys, you're gonna love this. Turn the fuel on, choke out. So I think she's pretty well foamed up. What do you think? But like I said, just 2 squirts of the, you know, the Chemical Guys Honeydew Snow Foam. I mean, look what it does. You see the results. And I have really, really hard water here in New York. So I'm sure if I have a water filtration system, things would be a lot better, but they're not. So that's that. So let me just go over. I'm going to switch over to the main wand. You got to release the pressure always before you disconnect this stuff. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get it off. And I got quick connects on everything. Okay. And then I'm going to leave this over here. And we have the, what degree nozzle? There's a 40 degree nozzle already on there. So I'm just going to let this hang tight for a minute. And I'm going to grab the Griot's Garage microfiber. And like I said, the bucket already has some soap in it. And like I said, you don't have to go crazy. I mean, my car is not really soiled right now that bad, but you know, and it's effortless. You know, this is easy. Instead of bending over constantly in a bucket, I mean, this is, for me, this makes my life easier. And if it makes my life easier, maybe it'll make your life easier. But some of the guys, they use these microfiber mops with extension poles like I'm using here for SUVs, and I totally get that. I mean, you know, cleaning an SUV is definitely a chore, especially some of these bigger ones today. But like I said, it's you could use this stuff for a car. It's not a big deal. So I usually start at the top, you know, clean everything off on the top on both sides, and then I'll do a quick flick in the bucket if there's any, you know, any kind of debris on there. But I think the foam, like I said, I was just concerned about some stone dust from the construction going on across the street. So I'll give it a good couple of shakes, and this will be a good test to see how, and like I said, I showed you when I did the lettering on the bumpers and how I power washed the car, and you know, everything seems to hold up, so that's good stuff. And you could see, I mean, this is going pretty quick. So that side's done. The front of the car is done. I mean, if you're timing it, I don't know, but this is probably only like 5 to 7 minutes, you know, max. And like I said, don't get nervous with the plastic against plastic contact. I mean, I've been doing this for a couple of years with some really expensive cars that I own, and I never had any issues with scuffs, scratches, or damage. So there you go. I mean, I took my plate off earlier because, yes, you could see back here, you usually get a lot of debris, and I got to clean my license plate and the clear plexi lens. I'm going to do that later before I bolt it back on. And that's it. The car is washed. And it only took a couple of minutes, like I said. That's it, we're done with that. So let's get this thing fired up one more time. I'm going to show you the pressure reducing. Watch. See? If you can't see it, you can hear it. That's it, we're done. That's it. So that was pretty quick. I mean, I actually could do it a little quicker. It actually took more time to set it up today, just so I could film it and not look all unorganized. So there we go, we're gonna put that guy back. Grab this guy. Yeah, this leaf blower is awesome. I love it. So we're gonna go spray some of the VO7 on the car, like I suggested. You know, I just give it a mist. You know, you don't have to go crazy with it. And this actually works really well on the Shelby stripes, as far as, you know, making sure if there's any kind of contaminants on them. This works really well. Sometimes I get inside the jams. All right, put it back. And like I said, check out this drying cloth. This thing is actually awesome. So you literally, you know, one pass. I mean, look at that. And look at the reflection in this hood. And I haven't waxed the car in 3 months. This is just from the upkeep and washing the car the way I'm kind of explaining in this video. I mean, the VO7 works outstanding as a drying aid and has a quick detailer. I mean, look at that. The hood's done. I mean, there's no water spots. There's nothing. So, like I said, it's not taking me very long to do this, and it's not a lot of effort. I mean, this towel just soaks everything up, whereas like a conventional chamois or microfiber drying cloth, you're constantly wringing it out and you know, stopping what you're doing. But I'm all about efficiency and times, because sometimes I want to go somewhere, and like I said, I'm real particular in how I keep my cars and everything else. So I don't like going anywhere with my car's dirty. If I'm going to a business meeting or whatever, if I'm going out on a Saturday night, I just like to make sure the car's clean as best as possible. You know, and like I said, this is a good, quick wash detail. I mean, it's not, I'm not going to sit there for hours doing buffing and dual action correction because the car doesn't need it, because I take such good care of it. And a lot of that comes down to how I wash the car. I mean, so I'm going to use this smaller rag for the jams just because, you know, I use the same one for the wheels, and I don't want to use the main drying towel. So I usually do this, you know, but the blow dryer, the leaf blower, got all of that water out of there already. And then I leave the doors open just in case there's any water that's going to drip out of the drains and underneath the weather stripping. It almost looks like I'm fast forwarding this video because I'm so damn fast when I do this. Because like I said, when you have a detailing business, you know, like when I was a kid, it was all about efficiency. If you couldn't knock out a certain number of cars a day, then, you know, you weren't going to make enough money to pay for your overhead. So, you know, so I was always accustomed to doing things quick, but, you know, doing things right. So that's the tricky thing. You know, don't rush it. But, you know, do it at your own pace. But this is just me. I mean, I do things fast. Okay. I mean, you can see the gloss. I mean, the VO7 just really makes the paint shine. I mean, look at it. If you didn't know it, it would look like I just, you know, fine polished a car with the Flex dual action. No, I just literally foam washed it quick, and I'm showing you exactly step by step how I'm doing it. So if your car is well maintained on a regular basis, then the regular upkeep and maintenance is not going to be so much of a chore. But if you let your car get trashed and a lot of debris, and you wait a week or two between washes, and you get a lot of bird droppings and sap and everything else on the car, well, that's going to make your life a little bit more difficult. So, and like I said, on the bottom of the car, the ABS plastic, I don't go too crazy because I drive the car. This is my daily driver. Okay. All right, so I'm going to run over and grab the smaller rag and the VO7, and then I'm going to knock out the door jams, the trunk jam, and the wheels, and that's it. Looks like we're done, almost. So we got this. So I'm using the smaller, I believe it's a 16 by 16 Griot's Garage Pfm towel. I mean, these things are outstanding. I mean, look at them. There's just like no debris, no lint. And, you know, my other cars are black, and these things are just awesome. So what do you guys think? I think it looks pretty damn good. A little awkward having the camera on my head doing this, I'm going to be honest with you guys, but you know, a lot of my friends have been telling me for a while, make a video you doing the car, because a lot of guys come to my house because they think it's a car wash, because I got all the equipment and setup and all of that. But no, I don't mind doing it. Like I said, you know, it's a little bit of energy you need, but if you knock it out and you know what you're doing, it goes pretty quick. Okay, cleaning the jams. Okay, so there you got it. The car's dried off. And then, like I said, there may be some drips coming down from the weather stripping. And look, this is what I do with the wheels. I just give them a quick mist with the VO7, and I just go in there like this. I mean, the wheels are already clean, but sometimes you do get a little bit of a residue from some brake dust and dirt that doesn't come out with the wheel cleaner. So on a black wheel, you tend to notice everything. It's kind of like owning a black car. And trust me, I'm used to it. You know, I mean, gloss black wheels are a nightmare. I had them on my GT Performance Pack, and they weren't on the car very long, because no matter what I did, you cannot make those wheels look good on a regular basis. Not as a daily driver. Too much maintenance for gloss black wheels. Another thing I should mention, a lot of cars have brake calipers today that aren't painted. They have like a hard anodized finish. I know Chevrolet's doing it, Ford's doing it, and there's probably a couple of other manufacturers. I don't know why they're doing that, but it actually pisses me off, because if it was painted, it would make it a lot, you know, easier to clean and maintain them. Now, the anodized finish is real tricky. You got to watch what you put on this finish. You can't use harsh chemicals. You can't use anything with acid. You can't polish it. So you really have to use a pH neutral based wheel cleaner. Otherwise, you're going to trash them. And some of the tire shines in the market, I know the stuff that comes in the can, you got to watch that stuff too. If that gets on your brake caliper that's anodized like this, it's going to leave spots, and you're never going to get the spots out. So you're going to pretty much trash your calipers just by using a cheap can of garbage at your local auto parts store. I don't know. I never was into that no-touch tire care and that foam stuff. I don't know. To me, it's just like, I think they came out with that stuff years ago for the people that were lazy to actually apply the stuff the right way with an applicator pad. But if you go to a lot of detail shops, they take like a silicone tire dressing, and then they use like a 3 or 4 inch wide bristle brush, like a paintbrush, and then they go all over the car, and they don't wipe it. They just leave it like that because they think customers want to have greased out tires because they think it looks cool. Maybe that's the in thing back in the day, but as soon as you pull out and you drive, that stuff is all over your car. And depending on what you're using, it could actually damage the paint. And on a performance car, if you get a lot of that stuff on the outer the thread over here, and you're going around the turn, there's a good chance you're gonna get yourself killed or get into an accident, all because of the slickness of the tire shine that's on the tires. So I never like to put too much of that stuff on. And look, you can see the tires. I've been using the Chemical Guys G6 stuff for a while, since I bought the car months ago, and it doesn't turn the tires brown. Now, all the other stuff on the market tends to turn the tires brown. I mean, if everybody remembers back in the days, you know, all we had was Armor All, you know, back in the 80s, and everybody thought it was the greatest thing ever. But Armor All turns your tires brown, and so does a lot of the silicone-based products that are out there. So it's just one of those things that I've noticed over the years, what works and what doesn't work. And here we go. So we're moving along. We're almost done. And this stuff works really well. I mean, even on the wheels, and it's like you could just see the speed that you could just go through this. You don't have to sit there with a fine-tooth comb and a Q-tip and all of that, because this is not a full detail right now. This is just a thorough wash. I'd call this a mini detail, you know, just for the process that I used. And you know, the wheel barrels are clean, you know, from using the wheel wellies. So it's not loaded with brake dust. I mean, look, the wheel weights are clean. Everything is clean. Okay, so we're all dry. I mean, there's going to be a couple of spots that you might get, you know, on the bottom of the car, just from the weather stripping. I don't know, that's just the way this car is. And when I'm all done, I usually will go over it with the larger towel if there's any other drips and stuff like that. So the way I apply this, I do it away from the car. Sometimes I do that if there's too much, and you just do a very quick application. You don't have to put a lot on. I mean, I personally don't like a lot of tire shine on my car, but this gives you a good semi-gloss finish, and it doesn't give you that greasy nastiness that you get with a lot of silicones. Like I said, I tried all the stuff on the market, and I really like this stuff, and it's relatively affordable too. So doesn't turn the tires brown, doesn't get all over your paint, doesn't stain the paint, It doesn't make it impossible to get off your hands. And like I said, I'm not wearing a rubber glove. I put a glove on when I was using the wheel cleaner, just because that stuff it's got some sort of an acid base in it, and it will actually eat into your skin. And I have a lot of cuts in my hand because I work with my hands every day. So it's not a smart idea to use anything that's too caustic with cuts in your hand. That's it. So what did this take? About 15 minutes? 15 minutes to wash the entire car. So, not bad. I actually have to do the trunk jams. I totally forgot to do that. I got sidetracked. So, alright, that's done. So, gonna run over. Like I said, the car's washed. Everything's clean. I mean, look at it. It looks outstanding. The wheels and tires look great. No more drips on this side. I'm just gonna pop the trunk quick and clean in here a little bit more. Alright guys, sorry about that. The camera actually died on me, so I was just charging it up really quick, and I decided to just clean up outside a little bit. So I dried up the jams in the trunk, and now I'm just gonna go over the tips. So with the Gliptone medium grade polish, just give it a good shake. It has, it has a really thin viscosity, and just throw a little bit on your towel, like I just did there. And I mean, look at this. There's literally no effort into getting the exhaust tips looking great. So the one thing I like about the Gliptone versus a lot of the metal polishes, I mean, I still use Mothers, and I still use, more of a paste polish for different applications. But what I like about this stuff is that it doesn't give you that paste residue. So if you get it on, any kind of plastic or painted surface, it doesn't leave any residue. And I don't know, to me, it just seems to work. And I prefer it a little bit better than some of the paste stuff, depending on what I'm doing. I mean, if I'm polishing, a complete exhaust system, I do use this stuff as well, and I do use the paste stuff. It really depends on what you're working on. But as you can see, all of the carbon deposits and water spots and everything just literally comes right out. It's effortless. So, and these tips have like a bronze tint to them. They're not high polished stainless like with a mirror finish. These are a little bit different, as you can see. But highly suggest this stuff. This stuff is great. I mean, like, it cleans your tips in no time. So car is finished, and I just want to walk around and show off my handiwork. So it probably took me, anywhere like 15 minutes. It took more time to set up just to video this. But as you can see, the finish looks outstanding. I mean, it looks like the car was just compounded and finely polished. The reflections are flawless. The wheels are flawless. There's no marking on the stripes, nothing like that. And an important thing, you upkeep your car. There's no contaminants on this paint. It's smooth as glass. It's as if this car was just taken off the showroom floor and it was properly detailed. So, like I said, I can test a lot of that to my maintenance regimen. I've been doing this stuff for years, and this is a system that seems to work for me. Like if I'm in a rush or I gotta go somewhere, I rip everything out, and 15, 20 minutes later, the car looks like this, and it looks fantastic, and it stays like this. So, if the car, if it rains really bad and the car gets real heavily soiled, I spend a little bit more time on the cleaning process. But I just wanted to show you guys, some simple technique, affordable, attainable materials, no smoke and mirrors as far as what's out there and fancy big brand names and all of that good stuff. You could get really, really outstanding results, whether it's on your Shelby, your Mustang, your Porsche, doesn't really matter. I just want to show people that you don't need to spend an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours washing and detailing your car. I mean, I spent under 30 minutes, and look at the results. Between the foam bath, the wash, using the power washer, the Adams wheel cleaner, the VO7 from Chemical Guys. Like I said, it's an outstanding drying aid, and it really just brings the shine out. And if there's anything on the paint, like sap or any kind of debris or anything that sticks to the paint, A little bit of the VO7 while you're drying it with the Griot's Garage PFM towel, it just comes right off. So a couple of the things, you know, you really guys got to look into is the automatic start power washer. That thing is a lifesaver. You know, forget about the electric ones. I mean, unless you have the money to buy a Kranzler for $2,000 and then you want to buy a Sears power washer to do stuff around your house, so be it. But I don't really want to have all that stuff laying around. I'd rather spend the money on another piece of equipment like another TIG welder or you know, a plasma cutter or something else like that. So to me, it just doesn't make sense. I'm happy with what I got. You know, that power washer is like 400 bucks. The push button start is a home run. I absolutely love it. And the Griot's Garage PFM towels, it saves you so much time between drying, detailing, cleaning the wheels. There's just no comparison between the cheaper stuff you can get on Amazon and the stuff you get in the local auto parts store. Yeah, those things are 40 bucks, and you know, for a reason, because they work. They work better than everything else that I've tried. I've tried every towel from the chemical guys, and if you go on their website, they have an arsenal of microfiber that they sell, and I've tried every single one of them over the last couple of years, and the Griot's Garage PFMs, they're the best towels that I've ever used. So all the hype, all the feedback online, that's legit, man. I'm just telling you from someone that's been detailing for a very, very long time. And I also wanted to show you, you know, the sheen on the tires. I mean, it's not slimy and greasy, and, you know, it's not a matte, but it's not a super high gloss. It's almost like right in between, and that's what I like. That's the finish that I like, and this is what I prefer. You know, you probably could give it a second application, but you don't have to. You know, just give a couple of squirts in the pad, go around the tire once, and call it a day. You know, so like I said, you want to keep your car looking great. You don't need to go out and spend thousands of dollars on a fancy equipment and product and trying to test this and test that. I mean, everybody's going to have their own opinion. I mean, this is the way I do my car. Somebody out there is going to probably say you're doing it all wrong. But you know what? There's really no right and wrong way how to do it. You do it what you feel comfortable in the process and how you do it. I just want to show you guys how I do it, and I'm doing it for efficiency and for outstanding results. And you know, if you guys, some of you guys were here, you could feel the paint, you could look at the paint. There's no swirl marks, there's no scratches, there's no debris on the paint. The car does not have to be clayed, and I haven't clayed the car in 4 months. And I drive this thing around construction zones and all over New York every day of the week. And there's no damage to the front bumper, no water spots, and it just looks outstanding. So I'm gonna put the camera down. I'll edit this video, I'll get it up later. Any questions, post them in the comments below. In the description, I'm gonna put all the links to everything that I use in this video. If you have any questions about the use of them, the application, post it in the comments. I will respond to everyone. If anybody has advice, go for it. I mean, some of you guys may have tried some of these products and maybe they didn't work well for you. Maybe it's the technique. I don't know. But like I said, I've tried everything. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars testing and trying products. Yeah, I'm a little bit nuts with that, but you know, that's just the way it is. You know, when you're in the business of automotive and you're dealing with, you know, real critical clientele for over 25 years, you really have to have products that deliver, that give outstanding results, and don't have any issues along the way. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I apologize for the loudness while using the power washer, but like I said, I shot this in real time. I didn't want to mute it out. I just want to show you guys step by step how I did it and the end result. So I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my day. You guys do the same, and I'll catch you guys soon.